I didn't think I would ever say this, but I think it's Klay Thompson because he is the mentally and physically toughest Golden State Warrior. He's the guy you can count on when the chips are really down. And I told Shannon this earlier, Chris, in the show, but I know a Warriors insider I've known for a long time, and he said, we're playing joyless basketball right now. Nobody's having any fun. Kevin is not having any fun. Steph continues to live down to his reputation as a two-time MVP in the postseason. He's never quite lived up. I can go back to 2016 when Iguodala came on to win the MVP, though you made a case. You still thought it should have been Steph. But look at games 5, 6, and 7 in
16 when they lost.
Yeah. And look at Steph's numbers. He was just horrible. He was really horrible in the Game 7 that they had no business losing to the Cavaliers at Oregon in Game 7 when it was LeBron and Kyrie who took the game over late. And the other night, Steph was 1 for 7 in the first quarter from 3. I mean, in the first half from 3. And the other night, Kevin Durant was just a no-confidence mess again. I've never seen him play like this, where he's just lost his way, his feel, his touch, it looks like he's lost interest in some ways. I don't know if sometimes he goes through off-the-court distractions. I don't know if he has too many investments. I don't know if he just got his ring last year and his finals MVP and he proved what he needed to prove, leaving Russell Westbrook. And he's just not as driven as he used to be. But Klay Thompson always sacrifices for this team. Whatever it needs on offense or especially on defense, he does it. And the other night, there's no way they survived without him playing the defense he played on James Harden and making, as Holly pointed out, 9 threes. Yeah. 7 were with 1 second catch and shoots, which is some 4th level record for making threes with 1 second or less, getting it away. And to me, this team, in the end, it'll go as he goes on one side of the ball or the other. And I can tell you, games against my Spurs, he'll just take people out of the game. He'll take Tony Parker out. He'll take Patty Mills out, where they're the spark plug, and he just shuts them down. And Steve Kerr made a powerful point the other night. Nobody's in better shape than this guy is. I know LeBron gets a lot of attention for his shape, and he deserves it. But in this case, this guy runs all night long because he's running off screens like crazy on offense. And then he runs on defense, and he did a number on James Harden. So the guy I would trust the most tonight in the hostile environment would be Klay Thompson.
We don't agree much, Skip Bayless, but we absolutely agree on this.
Okay.
Because not only is he giving it to you offensively, but he has the toughest defensive assignment.
Always.
Guard James Harden. And normally what you do, your best offensive player, he would not dare set foot in front of the opposing team's best offensive player. So you're asking him, and he has James Harden shooting 31% in the 4th quarter in this series, 19% from 3. And it was him, 21 second-half points. Game 1, 16 second-half points. And Skip, arguably the biggest game of his career was Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals in 2016 when he went to OKC and he lost his mind shooting threes.
That was a big.
And they were in big
and
trouble.
they were in a heap of trouble. And it was him that's like, oh, no, we're not losing tonight. What they ask him to do on a nightly basis, he's guarding the best point or 2 guard of the opposing team. So he's going to have to guard Dame Lillard or C.J. McCollum. He's going to have to guard Russ. He's going to have to guard James Harden. So you ask him to do that, but, oh, yeah, bro, we're going to need you to chip in and give us those 20 points, and we're going to need 5 of those from the 3-point line. So that's what we need you to do. Because right now, let me ask you a question, Chris. I mean, you've been covering this game, how about 20 years?
Over 20.
Over 20 years.
22 years.
Skip's been doing it for 40 years. You think there's a chance that LeBron James could have been the 3rd leading scorer on his team, and his team win by 25? Because that's what KD did. KD was the 3rd leading scorer on his team on Saturday, and they won by 25. You know why? Because when you got those 2 guys, but y'all making a comeback, Chris. Y'all used to be
we back.
Yeah, the light skip.
We dunking.
By
y'all
the way,
Zach LaVine, we rapping
By the way,
straight.
KD was also the finals MVP. And KD made the shot of shots in the finals right in LeBron's face.
All right, let me settle this. Look, because I love Klay. I'm with you guys defensively, offensively. Love his attitude.
Because he
don't care. Exactly. Doesn't care about the accolades.
He doesn't care. He doesn't make any waves about it.
He's going to be, it looks like the reports are that he's going to stay, re-sign with Golden State. He's going to be this dynasties if they go ahead and win? James Worthy. That's what he is. He is going to be a Hall of Famer, just tremendous. I hope he stays. However, the most valuable, most important Warriors player is the same one it's been for this 4-year run, and that is Steph Curry. And the reason that the Warriors are in dire straits right now, the reason they're in danger of losing, is because they've lost that identity. They have gotten away from the free-flowing ball movement, pass-happy offense that is rooted in Steph Curry. And now they're playing iso ball through Kevin Durant too often. And it's largely on KD, but it's not just him. Steve Kerr, you're the head coach. You got to pull rank. At some point, this is not working.
He did pull him to the side.
He talked to him about Jordan,
yeah,
but this isn't working. And some of it's on the players, the teammates, because how many times, especially in Game 5 and earlier, do we see Clay or Steph at half court just give it to Durant in the middle of the court and then run off to the side and looking for him to do something? So, and then Houston has a lot to do with it, because when you switch everything, it baits you into playing iso basketball.
Right.
And the numbers bear it out. Steve Kerr has been a stickler for the magic number is 300 passes per game.
Yeah.
They averaged 323 in the regular season. This series, 271 passes a game.
They just don't pass.
Because they're getting baited into playing too much iso through Kevin Durant. Now, when they go through Durant, they're still elite.
Yeah.
They're still as good as Houston, Cleveland. They're one of the better teams, but they're not special.
Right.
When they play through Steph, even though KD's a better player, and Clay is obviously better both ways, but when they play through Steph, everything opens up and they become special because the defense has to adjust to this guy at 40 feet from the basket. So I think Steph, notice Game 6. That's a prime example. In first half, it's a tough game. KD has 6 ISOs in the first quarter. Second half, they begin playing through Steph. Steph's bringing it up, not KD anymore. They're moving the ball. KD had 4 ISOs over the last 3 quarters of Game 6, and we saw what happened. They look like the old Golden State. The great thing about Kevin Durant is you don't have to feature him. You can just include him, and he'll get you 30.
Yeah.
They need to feature Steph and include Durant, and Durant's going to do his thing, and they're going to play their ball. If they go back to this ISO heavy thing through Durant, as great as he is tonight, then they can lose.
I need to give props where they're deserved to P.J. Tucker. He is physically intimidating Kevin Durant. I've never seen anything like it before. He is knocking him off his spot. He's getting up underneath him, and Kevin is a little gun shy. He's falling backward. He doesn't feel comfortable anymore. And the other thing is, Chris Paul was getting up into Steph Curry before he went out. So maybe now you're open to move a little more freely. Right. But the offense you're describing is the regular season offense. I haven't seen it as much in the postseason.
I think it opens things up for Clay when they go through Steph. And I think that's what happened in the second half. But you're right. Not having Chris Paul there was a big part.
The great luxury that the Warriors have is that when they're not making shots, is that you do have 7-foot Kevin Durant who can ISO, who can post you up and shoot over the top of anybody. But if you look at the first half, Skip, Kevin Durant was minus 15.
It's terrible.
He was minus 15.
Yeah. Steph was terrible. He's 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah, but still, he made some shots. He was 1 for 7, but he was 6 of 13 overall.
What was his plus minus?
It was minus 1.
Yeah. So
KD in the first half was 3 of 11, 1 for 3, minus 15. It was Clay and Steph that wouldn't let them.
It was Clay. He just said no.
But that was the Rockets. They could get careless with the ball. And all of a sudden, they're the Harlem Globetrotters. They think they try to make every pass. But the reason why I like Clay is that it takes a special kind of guy to be on the team because we all love credit. And he's basically, okay, I'm the third wheel, but he has the toughest defensive assignment every night. He never gets to take a night off because this is the deepest point guard field we've ever seen. And it's deep. He has to guard him. Yeah. Well, if you got a great 2 guard, he has to guard him. And they still ask him, yeah, we need you to guard Harden. We need you to slow down Westbrook or Dame Lillard. but we also need them 20 now. So don't forget about that. Don't think you can lock them up and not give it to
But
20.
they end up switching Steph onto him. The opponent always runs to Steph and switches and
Because
gets
what they
Steph
do,
on you.
because they try to
expose
pick.
you. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's the whole thing. Everybody's offense is picked. Whoever Steph is on, come here and sit the high pick
So
on.
Shannon Sharp.
Yes.
Who do you want to play in the finals? Houston, Golden
I
State.
want to play over there. I ain't got no
Whoever-
preference.
Wrong.
He wants Houston.
Wrong.
He knows
He wants Houston.
I
You
want
know
I want
he's-
whoever there.
Yeah,
I want whoever.
And Skip, you have to admit this. The greatest player in the game today is no longer up for debate.
No,
It's not
you must
Kevin
not have
Durant.
watched
You
our
know
show
that.
on Friday.
I heard you killed him.
Okay, I killed him.
But did you admit
Kevin,
that LeBron's the
you
best
can't, I
player?
called him. Yeah.
Okay.
I needed to see LeBron last night after that Game 5 lit
What,
fire.
hold up. So what about Game 6?
Kevin
No, that was happened on Friday night. We were talking on Friday's show.
Okay, so
I can't do it until I see it.
No, you can't. You can tweet it.
I tweeted that night.
Did you tweet at
And-
LeBron?
and by the way, I called his line almost exactly for Game 6
impressive.
also.
That was-
Why you didn't
And
call
Game
me?
7.
Why didn't you call and tell me? I need to
I don't want to hear you. I have to put up with you all week. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Chris, thanks for joining us. We love having you, but we need that seat available because NBA champion Jason Terry is here. We'll get to take on LeBron and